Peace Gong Podcast.
So yeah, I wanted to ask you, on doing this research on you, we've stumbled upon a man called Vedabhyas Kundu, who apparently was a massive part of the reason you started off with your initiative. So can you tell us about the impact he had on you?
Yeah, Dr. Vedabhyas is really an inspiration to me. He's my mentor, and I respect him a lot. I met with him in 2020. That's where I met him for the first time when I learned NVC for the first time from him. So he trained us, and after training us, so I was made to also start training other participants that we are with. And after that, spent some years, we lost contact, but then this year we got back into contact. And then when we started again with learning again about NVC. So he had a bigger impact even on the starting of this initiative of Action for Peace and Nonviolence, because even the name we got it together. It was something that he contributed on because of the vision and the missions of the initiative. So he's the one who came up with the name Nonviolence. So I came up with Action for Peace, and he came up with Nonviolence. So he was also behind the research that we conducted at Nakivale Refugee Settlement about NVC, the impact of nonviolent communication in Nakivale Refugee Settlement, whereby he developed some questionnaires that we had to give out to the participants before the course. They filled them with answers, and then I started with the trainings, and after the trainings, he developed other questionnaires that we asked them after. So we tried to balance and see the before and the after trainings of NVC, and we found that the course has really been very impactful. So I respect him for that a lot, because up to now, he's still guiding me on a lot of things concerning peace and NVC. So I respect him a lot for that. He has really a bigger impact on the initiative that we are running here in Nakivale.
Just to lighten up the mood a bit, does he have any connections to India? Is it from
Sorry?
Is it from India? Where is Dr. Vedvas from actually? Like, that's a very Indian name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyways, as I was saying, since we're on the topic of India, when I was going through LinkedIn, we saw that you were a bit of a Gandhian yourself. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so can you tell us a bit about that?
Actually, Gandhi is really an inspiration to me, because I learned about Gandhi from school when I was in secondary school. We learned about Gandhi, about how he led India to its independence. We learned about the philosophy, the Gandhian philosophy at school. And that's when I started getting interested in the Gandhian philosophy. So it was like a big surprise and opportunity when I came to meet with Dr. Vedabhyas after graduating in my high school. So I met with him, and when we got into contact, he was also pushing these Gandhian ideals and philosophy. So I felt like, oh my God, this is really what I was really looking for all this time. So let me get stuck to this person, because I want to learn more, because I learned about Gandhi from school. We learned a lot about him, but it was not really that deep. But with Dr. Vedabhyas, I got the chance to learn more and deeply about Gandhi. So he could assign me some research works where he could send to me a lot of documents to read. He could send me to some websites to study, and I learned a lot about Gandhi, and I understood that Gandhi played a really important role, and his philosophies is still doing wonders up to now. And actually, when we came up with the name of the initiative, Action for Peace and Non-Violence, we had to put the Gandhian philosophy at the forefront. So our initiative is built on the Gandhian philosophy of non-violence. And that's why even the name of our initiative includes non-violence. So we try to push it forward because many people really don't know about the Gandhian philosophy. So when I learned about it, I had to embrace it and to put it as my life, to live it. And since I started doing that, it really helped me a lot. It changed me, and many people saw that I've changed. I've become someone different, and they've been asking me, what's really going on? What has happened to you? It's like you have changed. You are someone different, and I'm like, yeah. All this is a thanks to the Gandhian philosophy. So I'm like I'm a Gandhian follower. So I'm a follower of Gandhi. So everything I do, I follow Gandhi because it's really an inspiration to me. Um, when I learned about um, non-violence, I came to understand that even my country, the DRC, is going through a lot of troubles for now because people don't really know about the Gandhian philosophy of non-violence. Because people try to use violence to ask for their rights. And when people try to do that, so it's like you're adding fuel to the fire. So that's why the conflict has been going on for more than 2 decades now. People have been killing each other instead of sitting down and settling the
It's can I can't hear you.
understand that I can ask for my rights without being violent. Even if I am the one who is right, I need to use a style of non-violence when I'm asking for my rights. But when you are asking for your rights and you are violent, then you are making the person who has more power over you to also become more violent towards you. And that is what is really making people to keep dying. Wars are never ending every day because everyone wants to show the other that I am strong, I can fight. So the other one says, okay, let me also show that I can also fight. So people keep fighting endlessly. Every day, people are killing each other and the people are dying for nothing. And you find that in all these conflicts, it is the most vulnerable people who are suffering from these wars, especially women and young children. They are the ones who are suffering a lot, whereby you find we are now having higher numbers of orphans, higher numbers of single mothers. So because people don't really want to settle their differences by using non-violence. So actually, I remember even when we went to register the initiative at the local government, even the person in charge was surprised. He asked us, why the name non-violence? What is really the matter? What is really this non-violence that you're talking about? So I had to sit with him in the office and explain to him about non-violence, explain to him about the Gandhian philosophy behind the name. And the man was really surprised. He felt like, oh my God, this is really something um interesting and also something which is like new because since I've been here registering initiatives, I've never seen such an idea because many people come here but with different ideas that are really common. You find it's like people are doing copy pasting. They're like copycats, just copying from one another. But when he saw what we came with and the philosophy behind our initiative, he was really impressed. So that is something really amazing.
When we are taught about Gandhi, there's this saying that always comes about an eye for an eye makes one blind. That is precisely what you were talking
Absolutely.
about. Yeah. So what kind of an impact Gandhi had on you? Like, what did it actually change about you from what you were before being a Gandhian yourself? What are the changes?
Actually, I changed the perspectives on other people around me, and also other people from different countries that are neighboring our country, because as you know, conflicts don't just arise out of nowhere just and people start just killing each other. So according to the UN mapping report that was published few years back by the UN, by the United Nations, there was evidence that it's the neighboring countries of the DRC that are taking war to Congo in order to plunder the resources of the country. So when people are living in Congo, they see these things, they see that it's other people from the neighboring countries coming to their country, kill them in order to steal their resources. So they get this feeling of hatred towards those people that are coming from the neighboring countries. So actually, I can't lie. When I was not yet a Ghanaian follower, I also had sometimes that kind of a feeling. I was like, why should these people come to our country, kill us just for stealing our resources? Why can't they stay in their countries? We need peace in our country. So if our country is termed as one of the poorest countries of the world, it is because of our neighbors. Yet we are one of the richest countries in the world in natural resources. So many countries want resources from our country. So I was like, yeah, this thing is really so painful, and these people are enemies. So that is the resentment that was being felt in the Congo. And even people from the neighboring countries also could feel the same about the people in the Congo. There was like, those people are killing our brothers who are going there to their country. So it's like they are just pushing this narrative of conflict to keep going for a longer period, for a longer time. So when I learned about the non-violence philosophy of Gandhi, it changed me because I first had to be at peace with myself, to change my thoughts about other people. I had to understand that violence does not resolve violence. We need to look at other angles and to make sure that we settle disputes amicably in a way that we will all get what we really want in a good way by not using violence. So actually, before I could not have friends from neighboring countries, but after being a Ghanaian follower, I came to understand that that doesn't matter. It's really not the way that I am thinking. So it was just my thoughts that were making me think like that. So when I understood that, it changed me because for now I have friends from those countries, and I had to approach them to talk to them, and I have come to understand that they love us, Congolese, and we also love them. So for us, we don't have any problems. Maybe it is the government that are fighting, but for us, the civilians, we have no problems. So we are just living in peace, sharing things, everything, and that is really an amazing thing that ever happened to me since I learned about the Gandhian philosophy of non-violence.
Well, that philosophy can go a long way into settling the polarization that has taken over the world recently, the political polarization where people of one nation are hell bent on hating people of some other nation rather than it being the government. So I really like that. I like that from you, and yeah, that is a really good way to look at things. And so, back to this question. What's so yeah, we noticed that your initiative has mainly been focused on the grassroots levels. So, like, what are the changes that you have personally experienced, and what are the things that keep you motivated to keep on going with the initiatives, keep on wanting to help the youth? What keeps the motivation going?
Actually, what motivates me to keep going is first my personal experience, where I come from, what I went through, how I had to integrate in the community here, and the things that I can do now. Before I was thinking that I would never do such a thing. I was like, it's impossible for me to do such a thing, like to start such an initiative, and for this initiative to impact people in the community. It's really impossible because I didn't know where to start from. I didn't discover myself. But after studying a bit about this philosophy, I came to learn about myself, that I had first to know myself. I had to discover myself. I had to know what are my potentials. And that's what really motivates me to keep going, to keep doing what I'm doing, because first of all, I love it. And I feel that I'm contributing meaningfully to the community. So whenever I see that the people I'm with have changed positively in the community, it motivates me more to keep doing what I'm doing. Even though I'm like volunteering myself, suffering, doing everything myself, I feel like let me keep doing it because I'm seeing positive results coming out of what I'm doing. I'm seeing positive changes. So that is one of the motivations that is really pushing me to keep going.
That's a wonderful answer, Gervin. And so, we're talking about SDG 16. So I had a question that what is your personal take on the role of the importance of SDGs for your nation, for Uganda, and let's just say DRC as well? What,
I'm sorry,
how
what
much?
you,
I meant that. I meant that. How much importance would you give to SDGs as far as development of your nation goes? Like the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Like how important do you think they are to a nation's growth?
yeah. I think they're really important, really, really, really important to the development of a nation. And you find, especially when I'm talking about my country, I think if things which are happening over there are happening today, it's because our government hasn't really successfully implemented the SDGs. That's one. And you find that when we talk about these SDGs in our country, it is something which is like something really strange, because when you look even at the way our government is made, you find that they don't really implement the SDGs, and which is one of the things which is keeping the conflicts to keep going on. So when we talk about SDGs, especially when we talk about the SDG 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions, you'll find that our institutions, first of all, are very weak. They're not strong. There is no justice. And when there is no justice and the institutions are not really strong, so I think that is, I can already qualify it as a failed state, because when we don't have these things, there is nothing that can really go well in the country. So you find even the economy of the country is like held by just a certain group of people, and these people you find are only people that are closer to the people who are in power. So it's like the power is centered on the hands of some individuals. So there is no equitable sharing of resources in the country. So the politicians over there take the country as their own country, as long as if it belongs to their family. And that is what most of the people back in the country are talking about. So they don't really care about the civilians. they care about themselves. Imagine in a country which is termed as one of the poorest countries in the world, but with a lot of natural resources, you find that when it comes to provide provision of some basic needs to the civilians, they are not there. So you find that the politicians are voting laws that are really only beneficial to themselves, just to protect themselves, to keep plundering more money, the resources of the country, forgetting the civilians, forgetting the people that put them in power. So these people down here now resort to violence, and they say like the country belongs to all of us, and we all have to have a share of the resources of a country. You can't be just there doing anything you want yourselves. You take all the resources of the country by yourselves, and for us, you forget us. So they form these militias, these rebel groups that will start terrorizing other civilians. So when those civilians run from the places where they are living, then those rebels will come and install themselves in those places, and then start collecting the resources that are in that particular country. So I think our government really needs a lot of work to do, especially on the implementation of SDGs. And also the biggest problem is that the youth are not really that much given opportunities in the country to contribute to the development of the country. So you find even the way the government is made, it is always made of old people, very old people. So the youth are forgotten. You find the youth are studying, graduating, getting degrees, but they are not employed. So you find people have been working in the government for more than 40 years, 30 years, they're still there. They don't retire. Even when the retirement age reaches, they don't even retire. They keep holding on the positions which they are holding. So this one creates a lot of unemployability in the country, and then these people, these youths, feel bad about that, and then it makes them to really engage in some activities which are not really beneficial to the development of the country. That's why sometimes even the youth are running away from the country, trying to go to other neighboring countries to look for job opportunities. So the country is remaining just like that. No one to help the country into developing. So SDGs are really important, especially to the development of a country. And I believe that if our government really puts a lot of efforts into it, the way I see other governments are doing around the world, then I think that nothing can really be impossible for us to achieve. It can really be possible for us to achieve peace and development.
So, what is your vision for the future and for the role of young leaders in peace building?
Um, Actually, I see that young people play an important role because as the youth, we are the future. We are the ones that will be there tomorrow and to make sure that everything keeps running smoothly. So I would like that these governments of ours to give the youth a lot of opportunities, and also a lot of encouragement and also support, because the youths have a lot of potentials in promoting peace, but then they don't have the support from the government. But if the governments could support them, then I believe that the youth can play an important role into peace building, and also making sure that our future is secure, because they are the ones that will be here tomorrow. So they really know what they have to do in order to make sure that everything keeps going well. So I would call on our government to really look into that to support initiatives that are being brought up by the youth in order to promote peace in the communities. So that would really be so helpful, because we always see in other countries governments supporting the youth initiatives, but when it comes to our countries here, it is really difficult. Even here in Uganda, especially for refugee-led organizations, they don't receive any support from the government. So you have to be self-funded. You have to fund yourself. If you start initiative the way I did, and if you are lucky, get connections from overseas, and then get partners from abroad, and those are the ones that will be supporting your initiative. But to get them from here in the country where you are, and especially when you are a refugee, it's really a bit of a big challenge. And I think that when it comes to peace building, refugees youth play an important role too, because they have gone through these experiences. They really understand well and know how lack of peace can have a bigger negative impact on the life of someone, and also on the development of a country or a community. So they have these experiences, and they can really contribute a lot to make sure that, because first of all, we don't like to live again the same experiences that we have gone through. And that's why we want to promote peace at all costs. We want to make sure that other people, even though they haven't yet gone through what we have gone through, get to know about the experiences of lack of peace. What lack of peace can bring it to someone? What can lack of peace bring it to the development of a country? So we want to make sure that other people don't go through the same experiences, because we will have already talked to them about this, and train them and make them understand. So they will also be more focused on these initiatives about peace building and peace promotion, so that they don't have to also go through the same experiences. So if we could be given also that opportunity to be taught or to be guided, and to hear about stories about lack of peace in the community, I think it would really be a great sign of relief to us, especially when people know how to prevent conflicts, because that is one of the things which is really, really, really important. First of all, knowing how to prevent a conflict, because once a conflict has arisen, to resolve it, it can take some years even to resolve. Like the conflict which is ongoing in Congo, it has taken a lot of years, but up to now, no solution. A lot of mediators have already played a part in mediating it. A lot of international governments have played a part. A lot of people, but until now, no solution to the ongoing conflict. But if we had people who had already heard about these outcomes of a conflict, if they could be knowing what can a conflict bring afterwards as a result, I think people would really be afraid of conflicts, and people would be doing their best to prevent conflicts than putting efforts in resolving conflicts after conflicts have arisen.
I mean, yeah, like the best way to prevent these conflicts is to understand why they take place in the first place, and what horrific consequences they can bring to any nation, to any community. But yeah, so lastly, do you have any tips you would want to give to our listeners um, who want to contribute to peace and non-violence in their own communities? How can they contribute to peace and non-violence in their own communities?
Yeah, actually, the way that they can contribute to that in their own communities is to just be well prepared, as I can say, and to look at it on a different perspective, because even for us, we used to look at conflicts just on a perspective that was not really interesting to us. We're like, there is no conflict where we are, so we don't care about conflict. We don't care about knowing about those stuffs, because where we are okay. But after the conflict coming to us, after going through those experiences, then we knew later that we should have really gotten this education about conflict management and prevention and so on. And if we really had these skills, then we would be really well, because we would know how to prevent these conflicts. Because even in the community, you find that most of the times people are living in conflicts in the community here at the grassroots level, because they don't know, they don't have these skills. So I would encourage other people to start thinking about such initiatives. How can I be contributing meaningfully to a positive change in my community? So that is the question that I also had asked myself before starting this initiative about um, that I'm running. So I had to ask myself that question: how can I contribute meaningfully to my community so that I can bring a positive change? So I saw that peace is really inevitable. Peace is really something which we really need a lot, because without peace, there is nothing else that can really go well in the community. So we just start slowly. We don't have to look at the bigger, let me say, at the bigger things. We have to start small, just the way I did. I had to start small, and I'm still at the small size level. So, but taking into account the way that things are going, I think that very soon, or in some times to come, we will have the opportunity to expand, and then we will create a bigger impact. Because out of these, when you asked me about some successful stories, um, I forgot to mention that actually we had the opportunity and the chance to be supported by the Basa Foundation. They were really interested in our initiative about peace building in the community, and they loved our Sport for Peace project. So because the people that we are working with, the youth, who are the football players, don't really have any equipment. So they lack balls, they lack the shirts, the shorts, the playing boots. So they don't really have anything. So when we approached the Basa Foundation, they were really interested. They felt that it is really something that is really important, because many people forget about peace building activities over this place. So the success story is that we were able to secure some donation from the Basa Foundation. They provided us with some 120 jerseys for the footballers. They provided us 120 shirts, and also 120 bibs, and also 120 caps. So which makes the total amount of the items that we received from them to 480 items. So that is one success story that we have got so far, because we haven't really been in this for a long time. We started it in 2022, but because of lack of funding, I wasn't able to fund it myself. So I had to first take a break. But then it is just this year, in January of this year, that I had to start pushing myself a lot more, put more efforts, and then start doing a lot. And then finally, in the same year, in the month of March, we had the opportunity to be linked to the Basa Foundation through our partner, and our friends from Australia, which is the Charitable Foundation, because I am also a certified peace ambassador from the Institute of Economics and Peace. So I learned from them, I studied from them online, and then they were really interested in the initiative. So they said, well, we really like your ideas. They are really very great. We don't see many times such ideas. So what can we do in order to help you to promote you and to help you to achieve your dreams and your passion and your vision? So I talked to them about this Sport for Peace project, and they were really so good to us. They got us into contact of the Basa Foundation, and finally, in just 1 month, our request was accepted, and the Basa Foundation provided to us the equipment that we requested for. So that is really amazing.
Yeah, good things happen to good people. That's probably one of the most wholesome stories I've heard all year. Like them providing you with so many resources for you to then use those resources to help out the ones who needed to be helped out. And I had a wonderful time talking to you, and I would have loved if I could talk more, but we are also bound by time constraints, so we will have to end it here, unfortunately. But we are really glad that you were able to make time to talk to us, give us your valuable insights on subjects like NVC and your success stories yourself. Talked about your struggles, how you overcame them, and your vision for the future. Like there was a lot to learn from the conversation I had with you, and I hope that our viewers who are going to be listening or watching this take just as much out of this as I did, and try to spread the message of peace and nonviolence in the same vein as you have for the last 2 years with your organization, the Action for Peace and Nonviolence. Thank you for joining us, Jovin.
And yeah, thank you so much too for hosting me. It was really a pleasure being here and to get to hear from us. And also, it's a pleasure to hear from you. And also, thanks to the Peace Gong for giving us this opportunity, because I know that this is a really big opportunity. As I know, the Peace Gong is a big organization. So this is a really a big opportunity for us to get more promotion and to let other people around the world to know what we are really doing and the struggles that we are going through and our vision for the future, because we don't really get such opportunities most of the times over here, like to be featured in such podcasts. So we are really so thankful because this is our first time to be featured, and we know that it will also help others. So we are really so thankful for that.
I would like to wish your organization and you the best of luck for the future, and I hope to hear more such success stories in the future when we eventually get to talk to you once again. Good luck, and I hope to see you soon. Hope to talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us, and we'll have to end it here. Thank you for joining us today. Let's hope for a more sustainable and peaceful future. Until then, stay informed, stay inspired.